Yep. Good evening, everyone. So last session we learned about some basic points about routing. Today we will see how to implement routing in the application. So the main concept of routing is build a single page application so that user can stay on only one page and can access everything onto that page, right? So let's create one simple process first. First, you will understand how it works. Actually, yesterday already I explained about basics, versions and all. So React routing have two versions, version 5 and 6. Latest is 6 version and 5 is the version which is used for up to React 17, right? Now, so many changes they made. Lot of changes are there in 5 and 6. In 6 also, very latest is 6.8. It has some more changes. They made some more changes. So let's see how to understand these all changes and design a single page application. So for that first step, the flow you need to know how routing works, which I already explained. When we discussed about component lifecycle, I showed you React flow. In that React flow, if you remember, we learned about routing engine, right? And we learned about route table. So what is route in table? Route table is a virtual table. This virtual table contains information about all the routes that can be served to client. That means what are the routes which are available to serve. All that information is kept in route table. Actually, route table contains the path and which content is delivered when that path is requested, right? So routing engine is nothing but it is an engine which is responsible for verifying the request, comparing that request with the table and reporting the codes, reporting errors if there is a problem in that. Communicating, that means who uses this routing engine? Handler. I told you HTTP handler. HTTP handler will use the routing engines. So you need to understand that flow, which already I showed you once. Just I will open that diagram, which is already discussed. Actually, this is the basic flow we discussed. Here I already explained that scenario actually. This scenario I explained. In this, user makes a request. The request will come to process as HTTP server. It is processed by processing pipeline by using a HTTP handler. That handler will make use of routing engine. Routing engine will verify whether the requested path is available or not by comparing it with route table. So to design routing, you need to create this route table now. Our application needs a route table. This route table will verify requests from client and serves the content. So we have to design this route table. How to create this route table? Let's see. For that first step in routing, what you have to do is first you have to install React router DOM library into project. We need to first install this. We have to do that npm install. So we have to use React router DOM and save. Actually, We can install for development, we can use D. D is for development. Development means it will install uncompressed modules. If it is not, it will install compressed modules. Compressed modules means minified. Minified will come. We can use optional. These are optional. We can use that. If you want older version of router, you can do like this: npm install. Actually, this will install latest, not very latest. It will install, this will install latest stable. If you want very latest, which is not stable, which is for developers, they release it, then we need to use React router DOM at the net latest. This is latest, but not stable. That's not a stable one. It's not recommended to use for projects. It is recommended by developers to explore routing new things. That means as a developer, you want to try the new concepts. And if you want to report those problems to their React team, then you can use latest, right? If you want any specific version, you can use npm install React router DOM at the net v5. This will install the older version. That means it will install the version 5. If you want that version, because I told you that React 18 is backward compatible. It can use both 4 and 5 versions, right? So I already told you clearly that React DOM, router DOM, is not a part of React. It is a separate library, and it is used in React for configuring routes. So that is the reason React version is different, router DOM version is different. Actually, that doesn't even belong to directly React people. It is a community of React. That means it is not officially by React. It is a community of React, because React is open source. It is supported by a lot of communities. It is a community of React. Okay. So first you have to set up, install. After that, you have to create a route table. Create here one important thing is actually React router is not understandable to browser. It is not understandable to browser. Now, generally tell me in browser, in JavaScript, how to handle navigation? Dynamically navigation, not link. Dynamically navigation. That means if login is success, it will go to success page. If login failed, it will go to error page. How you do that? Who is responsible for handling navigation in JavaScript? In JavaScript, who is responsible for handling navigation? It is under the control of an object called location. I hope you know JavaScript have 4 important objects: window object, location object, navigator object, history object, and the 5th one, document object. Document object is general, we know. History, location, navigator, so these are important. His location object, it is used for accessing client location, setting client location. You can access client location, you can set client location by using which object? Location. We have navigator object, I hope you know. What is purpose of navigator object? Navigator object is used to get information about browser, client browser, which browser client is using, which version he is using, whether cookies enabled or not. All such information about browser we can collect by using which object? Navigate. So actually navigation in browser is managed by location. Location have options, location href, you'll know that. By using location href, you can handle dynamic navigation from one place to another. In JavaScript, user navigates from one place to another by using location href. If it is intra-document navigation, you have location. We have location. I hope you know hash. Location hash will put a hash location. These are general. So React router is not understandable to browser to manage navigation because it is virtual DOM now. It is virtual DOM. Then how navigation is managed? Actually, React router is not understandable to browser. You need a browser router. You need a browser router in React. So which translates the navigation mechanism of virtual DOM into the actual DOM. That means whatever the navigation you written in React is not understandable to browser. If browser cannot understand, how it will use? That means your React navigation need to be translated to the actual DOM. And who is that? That is under the control of what? Browser router. Actually, in old version, this browser router is separately imported in index level. But now it is different. We have to use in a different way. Actually, in early versions, we can just import this and use it. But now you need to configure it. Now we need to configure. Very recently, from very recent version, they changed it completely. We have to create a browser router. Till this moment, we have to use a browser router. Now, very latest, that is just few days back, they made React router in such a way that we have to create router. We have to create this browser router. So they are making a lot of changes in this. So that is the reason little bit confusion will be there when you are learning and when you are exploring. You are learning and you are exploring by yourself. You are watching websites, YouTube channels and all. You will feel a lot of confusion because several websites and YouTube channels, they don't still update to the new latest concept. They will be still explaining you version 5 or version 6 initial style. But very latest, lot of changes happened. That I will explain. But up to stable, what is there? First, we will discuss that. First, we will discuss what is stable router technique. After that, we will discuss what is latest router technique. After that, we will discuss what is the old technique, how it works. Initially, you need a browser router. So wherever you want to use routing, first you have to import. You have to import. Which one we have to import? Browser router. We have to import this browser router from React router DOM library. From this React router DOM, you have to import this browser router. And very important is, so complete routing configuration must be within within browser router. Anything you write related to routing, make sure that it is inside this browser router only. That means what you have to do, you have to use a browser router component. You have to use a browser router component, and all the routes you need to configure here. Routing configuration must be here. Make sure that any routing related concept you are not writing outside this. It is not recognized by browser. Browser recognizes the routing features only when they are kept in browser router. Make sure that all the routing related configuration is inside this browser router. In old version, we don't need that. In old version, we don't have this. In old version, we have to import browser router in the component. Then automatically it will start using it. It will start using it. So we don't need this. But now from version 6, you need this, right? Remember, currently we are talking about which one? All this we are talking about version 6. Better I will keep it. So React Router DOM version 6. This is the point. We are discussing this first. Now here, why we need to keep everything here? Because these routes are not understandable to browser. Next important, router is created, means router table. Route table is created for application by using routes. Router table is created by using for application. It is created by using routes. It is nothing but it is a collection. It is a collection of routes. It is a collection of routes. That means table is nothing but, you saw the table here. This table is collection of routes. We have two routes. One is login, another one register. This is table. This table is a collection of routes. Now this collection is defined by using routes. Routes will create a route table. Understood? Routes will create a route table. It creates a route table. It's a collection. In this collection, every route in that collection, every route is configured. That means we have like this routes. And in these routes, we need to define routes. Okay. And here we need to define your routes. Your routes you need to specify. And remember, every route is defined. Every route is defined by using route component. Every route is defined by using route component. That means routes is a collection of routes. And every route inside routes is defined by using route. It is defined by using route. Actually, this is a schema style, schema definition style. Schema definition style means if you know anything about XML, in XML, how schema is defined, the same way routes are defined. Because this uses XML in the background. So that is not required to know about it, but at very in-depth, if you want, this point is important because it is an XML schema. Because XML is the language which is understandable to every browser, which can flow through the firewalls. It cannot be blocked by firewalls. So your routing is not blocked. Generally, this is XML technique actually. For example, do you know in XML, suppose I want to store some products details. Generally, how we store? We have products. Products is what? Products is a collection. In products, you will have product. In every product, you will have an ID. Every product will have a name, and one product is finished. Understood? Similarly, you can have several products, and this product is closed. This products collection is closed. This is actually, we call this as XML. This is XML schema style, how the content is presented. What is the advantage of this XML formatted data is nothing but XML formatted data is not infected with virus. It is not blocked by firewalls, and it can flow through the firewalls. It is understandable to every platform. Every browser, every platform can understand XML. So that means routes cannot be blocked by browser. Routes cannot be affected by platforms. Every platform can use it. Every browser can use it. No browser can block it. So that is the concept actually. But this much not required. Just you need to know the concept that routes is a collection of route. And what every route will do is each route here, each route defines details about path and content to render. That means generally every route is having some details like path. Every route is having some details like element. Every route having various details like this. This is route details. Right? Lot of others will come, we will see. Child routes and all we will see. That means now finally, how do we create the routes like this? Syntactically, first, we have to use what? Browser router. In the browser router, we have to use routes. In the routes, we have to create a route. That's how we need to define. Every route will have an path, and every route will have an element. Like this, we can configure multiple routes. Route will have a path and route will have an element. That's how we define. This is end of routes, and this is browser router. That's how we define. Now the question is how to access these routes. That means I want to see first path. Then how do we access these routes? Actually, next point here is routes are requested in browser from URL. You can request from URL. How we can request from here? URL http colon, what is it? Localhost 3000, and in that what slash some home like this. We can request from browser. Now without requesting, how to set this home in URL? Without requesting, how to set that home in URL? So you can use a link component. You can use a link component which can set path into URL. That means you have to use a simple link element. This link will tell link to where? What? Home. This is link. Actually, this is navigation is managed by hyperlinks. Na? Here, routes are defined by using route links. Actually, what is purpose of anchor? Anchor purpose is Anchor purpose is it sets URL. Anchor sets URL. Actually, anchor is not navigation. Means generally people think anchor is for navigation. Anchor is not navigation. Anchor sets URL. When anchor sets URL, when URL is new URL sets in browser opens that. Now we feel like it is navigating. Actually, we are setting URL. That is the reason in many interviews at very extreme experience level, they may ask you a question. What is difference between href and src? Both are path. Why image have src and why link is not having src? Why link is having href? Both are referring path, na? Then why both should be href or src? Why image is using src and why this is using href? Any idea? What is difference between src and href? Why can't we use href in image? If we have to refer path, why can't we use href? Href also refers path. For CSS, we use href only, na? Right? Why can't we do that? So, remote play, no. So, what is difference? src also can be from remote. Actually, in real time, we don't use any machine paths. We use only virtual paths. You know that. So what is difference between src and href is src is a getter and href is a setter. That means src gets the path and href sets the path. It sets the path. That means, for example, suppose you see here generally when there is a HTML page, it sets the path. This is HTML. Suppose we have an anchor. In the anchor, suppose I defined Amazon. And here I given href. http://www.amazon.in. Actually, is it getting Amazon? Is it getting Amazon? No, it is not getting Amazon. Actually, what it is doing is, I will show you clearly. You see the current URL. You can see this is the current URL. The current URL is some demo HTML. When I click on this link, it sets a new URL. You can see it changes URL. It sets a new URL. When it sets this URL, obviously browser have to fetch this URL. That means anchor is not navigating. Anchor is setting URL. And browser is navigating. Anchor don't navigate. That's what general people think, right? Even an ordinary web developer also thinks in the same way, until or unless he knows the architecture of browser. The browser, according to browser architecture, browser don't navigate until or unless anything is set in URL. That means any link, anything you have to set in URL. What is in URL, according to that, it will display. If you don't set anything in URL, it cannot display. So anchor sets URL, sets everything into URL. For example, you learned inter-document navigation. Inter-document navigation means what? We can put anchor href is equal to hash some home like this. That means what it is going to do, actually, it will set this in the URL. That means now what happens here? It sets that in the URL home. And when I click on home, you can see it sets that home there. It is a setter. Now here, one interesting point is that these are all in React experience questions. In React experience questions, this kind of concept may come. They will ask here if a path is set to existing path. If a path is set to existing path, this path is called relative path. This is called relative path. If a path is replacing the existing path complete, that means actually this home is what kind of link? It is a relative link. But Amazon is not a relative link. Amazon is an absolute link. Absolute link. In very experienced React interviews, they ask what is an absolute link and what is a relative link. Absolute link is nothing but it cleans up the existing URL and it will set a new URL. And what is relative link is to existing URL, it will add a path. That means that URL will be there, to that it will add a path. So that means you have to know in which situation you need relative and in which situation you need absolute. How you do that in React links? Actually, in React links, we do like this. Link, we write to, this is home. If I write like this, then it is considered as relative. It is considered as relative. If I have to put absolute, then we have to use link to, we have to write link to, we have to put /home. This is absolute. Absolute. That means actually what happens, for example, http:// localhost, and we have 3000. In that already we have electronics. Suppose electronics like this, it is there. Now what happens is when you click the first link, relative, when you click the relative, do you know what will happen? When you click relative, here /home will be added. /home will be added. When you click absolute, do you know what will happen? When you click absolute, it will be like this, http:// Our app name will not change. It will be same. In that, it will remove electronics and put home. That means this is actually referring to this one, absolute path. That is absolute path. We have relative and we have absolute. That means relative means add to existing. In some situations, we need to do that. In some situations, we need to replace all and put the new. Up to here, it will not change. Why? Because this is the path up to application. Na? This is app path. Am I right? Application is running here. From there, you can get home, you can get others, concept and display. This is generally you should know while dealing with links, while working with the links. So this is absolute and this is relative. Just one point I will show here. So that means this is a relative link. And if I define here a link to /home, this will be treated as absolute. So /link here, this will be treated as absolute link. That is how it works. The relative links and the absolute links. These all basic things you should know. That means what is the point? Relative link will add the current path to the existing path, So, and absolute link absolute link sets a new path. Sets a new path. That's what actually they can do. This is all you need to know to design a routing concept. So to design a routing concept here, again, lot of phases are there. We will see. First, we will see how routing works with general request, how it works. Let's say I am adding first we need to set up install routing. So let's install routing for our project. So we are using npm install react router dom and save, right? This is the library we are installing, react router dom. Yeah, so it is installed here. Now we will do one thing. Once it is installed, let's add a component. So I will add a component here. So let's go to the components and I will just add a new component folder. This is some tutorial. Okay, let's add. So tutorial.component.js. Okay, we are adding tutorial component. Now let's create here. So export. So here we have export function tutorial component. Okay. And it will return, just we will put a div and a class name as container fluid. And here we will define some tutorial. So web technologies, something. Okay. So now below this, I need to show only the topic what user wants. There may be so many topics. I want to display only the topic that user wants, not all. Right? Then what we will do is first we have to import. So browser router from React router DOM. And we need to import another one is routes. We need to import route. We will import link. As of now, we will not use link, just we will use this. First, I will show you how we can handle general request. Okay. Now in this tutorial, now you want to set navigation, then make sure that everything is kept in browser router. Browser router will have collection of what? Routes. And every route will have a route. Now here, a route is having path. What is the path you are expecting? Path is, suppose if it is HTML. Path is HTML. Then what it should display? That is decided by using element. Element indicates what to render when user requested this path. Here two concepts. You can render a markup directly, or you can bring the markup from another component and render. You design your markup here, or you design markup in a component and bring it here. You can use any. First, I will put my markup here. That means I will put a div inside this. I will put a heading. So, and I say HTML. and I put some paragraph. So it is a markup language. It is a markup language. Like this, I defined inside that element. Element indicates what to deliver, what to present when user requests this. So just I am writing this. Now second, similarly, we need another route. This route path is what CSS, then element. We will put that here a div and a heading 3 and say CSS and a paragraph. It defines styles for HTML. For HTML, this is simple concept we created. That's enough. I'm just using two paths. I'm configuring HTML, CSS. This is the router defined. So browser router, it have routes and it have route. Now let's keep this in the startup. We will keep tutorial component in the startup. And let's run this and see the tutorial component is running here. Still compiling. Okay, this is tutorial component. Now here we have to make a request because it is not showing anything. It will show only what you requested. Now how we are making the request in the URL after 3000 slash, what are the topics we are having? One is HTML, enter, and it should get it. That it will get that HTML and display. I am requesting here CSS, then it will get CSS. That means it is accessing what you are requesting and displaying. So this is general concept actually. That means you can create some markup, you can present the markup where you want. This is a general approach. This is general approach. Let me copy this. This is first level. It is not finished. So many points are there. Huh? Now, this is a simple example. This is an example. So this is like tutorial.component.js. Now here we just used a simple browser router. We are using routes which are rendering some content. But this is basic route requested from URL. But if I want this to be requested from, because this is not AJAX. Why it is not AJAX? If you are requesting from URL, it will load the page again and again whenever you request. Then to implement AJAX, that means you can define route requested. So from link. So what this link will do? This link will set path. It will set path. So I will do one thing. Now, this is that content which is to be delivered. Now, what we will do is we will create some area like a nav. I'm creating, suppose, a section. In this section, I created a nav and I created main. We have two sections. In the main, these routes are defined because that is where the information should come. Understood? That is where that information should come. This is routes. That is the location where we need to keep that content delivered. That are routes. In navigation, what we will do is here, this section we will put class name as row. This will have a class name called call3, and this main will have a class name called call9. Now in this here, I will create a simple division, and I will create here a simple class name, btn group vertical. And here I am using a simple anchor, not anchor, we will put a link now. This is link, am I right? This link will have to link to which location? HTML. This link to HTML. That is linking to HTML. Now, actually, this link requires a text. This link requires a text. What is the text? That is HTML. And another link here. So link, and this link to path. Remember, this should match the path name. Whatever the path name you given, it should match to that. That is the path name. And this we will give CSS. I will write here, we will put a class name. It is a link actually. That means it shows like a link. You can see. So it shows like a link now. It shows like a link. Actually, index.css is having a lot of code. There is index.css. The margins and all are set. Actually, app.css. It is also having some code. These are having some code contents. I will do one thing, because some CSS files are automatically applying to our page, because in index we have mentioned that, right? Now, usually I will keep here as this is the content we are having. This is the content. Okay, this is the content we are displaying. Now what happens is, when I click on CSS, that CSS topic comes. And when I click on HTML, HTML topic comes. HTML, CSS topic are come. Actually, somewhere I kept the main CSS. Where we kept, remembered? In some component, we written main. That is already using some CSS. That is the reason. Which one? Actually, we created some Netflix. Is that in components, Netflix? No, this is not. Somewhere we written that main. It's okay. In app.css, we haven't done any modification. Where we done modification? I think app only. No, there may be somewhere. It's okay. So I will keep this instead of main, for I will keep that in div. Okay. Now it is okay. Fine. Now you see, I click on CSS, that CSS topic will come, and HTML topic will come. What this link is doing? Link is Link is setting this path. Link is setting the path. I click CSS, then CSS path will come. Now, when it is setting the path, is the page reloading? It is not reloading. It is not reloading. Without reloading the page, you can see this refresh. Without reloading the page, the new details are coming here. That means implicitly it is using as X. You can request directly. You can request directly and display. But very important. So this is same concept. Let me copy. Here additionally what we are doing, we are using a link. We are using a link. So, but one important thing you should know here, when basic routes are requested from URL here, note, if client requests any component which is not in the route table, so then you can render alternative using wildcard route. We call as wildcard routes. By using wildcard routes, actually wildcard routes are defined like this. We define route path is equal to slash. This indicates so what to render when user is not requesting anything, not requesting any specific path. That means if user is not requesting anything, just he opened your app, then what should happen? What happened to Netflix when you open netflix.com? What it will do? By default, Netflix index page will come, index screen will come. That means it is actually showing Netflix index component. That means which component to automatically pop up, which component to come when user is not requesting anything. For example, you see now here, I am not requesting anything here. If I am not requesting, it shows empty. It should not show empty. Then what we can do, if user is not requesting anything, then you can write like this. You can configure route and you can say route path is slash. Slash indicates if user is not requesting anything, then we will put an element. This element, we just put a heading. We just put a heading as so tutorial. So say online tutorial for HTML and CSS. So online tutorial home, something like this. Online tutorial home for this. So let's keep not a heading, like a paragraph is enough. I will put a paragraph here. This indicates what is the default. You can see default, this will come. You are not requesting anything. If you are not requesting anything, by default, home will come. Suppose you are requesting HTML, then HTML will come. If you are requesting CSS, then CSS will come. If you are not requesting anything, then default it will come. You can't keep it empty. That means if user is not requesting, we can put by default something. That is managed by using what? Slash. If user is requesting, here we can say route path. We can put route path as asterisk. This indicates what to render when the requested path is not found. Not found. If it is not found. That means now what you can do here, you can write here one more route here. We can write route. This route path, we define asterisk. And element, what is the element? Element is nothing but here we will put a code. Code is a HTML one. We will say that So 404 and say page you requested not found. This message we will give. That means what happens is user is requesting something in the URL. Now you can see in the URL, I am requesting JavaScript and enter. There is no JavaScript. Then page you requested not found. That means what alternative to display if anything is not available. User is requesting, click here, it will display the content. And if user is requesting manually something and which is not there, then it will display this. Otherwise, it will display empty, no errors. Error will not come, just empty it will show. Then user is confused. Why I am requesting and it is empty. That means we need to tell that the requested path is not there. That you can do by using this mechanism. These are called wildcard routes. These are wildcard routes. These wildcard routes are used so in order to specify what to do when user is not requesting, what to do when user is requesting. This is another example with links, right? So I will copy this. This is the example for working with links. Now we have a general route configuration. This is the basic route with the simple request made from URL. Another route that we are making from links. From links, user can request what he wants and it can display. So this appearance, because I given a BTN group, actually, this is link, but appearance of this link you can change as BTN, some BTN primary and some margin bottom 2, like this I given. I am applying a class name BTN and BTN primary like this. And you can see this is the appearance of that. That means we are changing the button appearance. This is CSS, this is HTML. So we are adding the buttons. That means actually it is not button, it is a link. The appearance you can change how we want to configure, right? This is technically how to define. So usually, so this is how we need to manage the process, right? Now here we used element, not element. Generally, we need to bring another component, not element. We need to bring another component. That means now you can render another component. So here, one more thing you should note is every route path can render element which can be markup or a component that have markup. A component that have markup. That means it can be markup directly or it can be a component that have markup. That is what we generally do. That is what generally we do. For example, see here, I am creating simple concept now. I will change here. So little bit. Let's change, remove this. And here I will put here. So this is login and this is register. We have two options and navigate to, currently it is empty. Nothing is defined here. We have empty. Now login should get, this is some website home. That means you are shopping home. And here when I click login, so login page should come. And register, the register page should come. We need to display that, right? That means we need to create a simple navigation for this. Login page, register page should display. Then what we have to do now here. So already those components are there. We have a login component and we have a register component. So first what we have to do is, for that we need to import those components here. What we need to import, what is it? Login component from that login. And we need to import one more. What is it? Register component from register. We are accessing these two, and we need these two to render here. That means we defined a route. And what is that route? This route is simple, self-ending. We can give route have path. Path is login. Then element is, this is login component, like a component you can define. That is what it is going to render. I showed you this in conditional rendering. In conditional rendering, we created a component reference. In that, a component is delivered. A component will render. Right now, here we are defining same route here. And what is the route path? Route path is what? Log. So register. And what is element? Element is what? Register component. That's you have to configure. And by default, suppose I am defining route, we can have a combination of both. So by default, we have the path. Path is slash, then element. I will put a markup saying that shopping home. So shopping home page, like this. I just defined the content to deliver here. It will get that and display there. Now link paths also to be defined. What this link to be? Link to be login, and this link to be register. So register. Okay, we need to configure these two things. So it have to get that and display. Oh, what is it? So login. Okay, somewhere bottom it is showing, right? And I click here and register, and it will get that register and show. We are accessing different component and we are displaying. Those components have some styles, right? We will create a proper design. We will take a website template. We will try to create the template with the help of all APIs and all what we have learned, right? First, we are just looking at two basic things. How we can render just directly markup, and how we can render the elements. This is example for that. This is the concept how we can do. So here we need browser router, we need routes, route and route links. Now, once we know this, here, remember, this is just beginning. You have a lot of things inside this. So many concept is there about routes, route parameters, so much. It's a very big concept. This is just beginning of router outlets. So many will be there. We will see them one by one. We will discuss. So now first, once you know this, we will try to create one template. We will try to create a real-time single page template with the help of this concept that we will see in tomorrow's session. Right? First, you try up to this. So once you are good, tomorrow I will take some doubts. So because many people are requesting that they have some doubts. So what I will do is tomorrow, first half an hour, we will have a class discussion. After that, we will spend complete time on doubts clarification for people online and offline, anyone. Okay. Tomorrow, we will first half an hour, we will design one template with this. After that, we will take doubts, right? Because some people are requesting that they have some doubts related to up to now what they have learned. Those doubts all we will clarify tomorrow. Then we can continue. Okay. Tomorrow we'll continue then. Okay. Right.